Reopening of schools in the country hangs in balance as the Minister of Education has dismissed information that schools will open in 2 weeks' time. This was during a weekly media briefing at the Media Center.
Please note that that information of the dates of reopening did not come from the Minister of Education and Sports. We don't have the authority to determine the dates. That date will be determined by His Excellency the President and his cabinet. To reopen is not only dependent on vaccination alone. The Minister of Education and Sports received a request to have international schools reopen for finalist classes for 2021 to do their exams, especially practicals. And this was to begin on 30th of August. So the Minister of Education and Sports has granted that permission, but only restricted to candidate classes sitting their final exams. It is not reopening for international schools.
The spokesperson, Kampala Capital City Authority, Daniel Muhumuza, gave a brief on the vaccination of teachers in Kampala. As of Monday this week, 11,629, both teaching and non-teaching staff in different divisions were vaccinated.
The breakdown of this is as follows. In Akawa, we had vaccinated 19,006, Makindye 20,535, in Central Division 2,359, Waga Division 2,463, Kawempe Division 2,366. We are expecting to receive 100,000 doses of AstraZeneca, that is any time from now, today or tomorrow, Friday, and this shall be administered from Monday, that is 6th, next week.
The update we have this morning from the Minister of Health is that we have vaccinated about 183,000 teachers. That does not include non-teaching staff, teachers alone. However, the number does not include or cover the whole country because we are still getting information, especially from the up-country centers. We expect to have vaccinated 550,000 teachers by the end of the exercise. If you add on non-teaching staff, the total number should be 730,000 teachers and non-teaching staff.
Kampala Capital City Authority is monitoring workspaces and arcades for adhering to the standard operating procedures. In different development, the Minister of Health in the last 7 days noted that there are emerging clusters of COVID-19 cases increase in transmission and numbers of hospitalization.
The areas we are closely watching is the Teso sub-region, and this includes districts of Soroti, Ngora, Pumi, Serere, Ketia. We have already deployed our surge response teams and also positioned ambulances to ensure that we respond timely to this increasing number of cases in the areas. Other areas that are also showing an increase in the number of cases include Rubanda district, Kabale, Obongi, Koboko, Bundibujo. Also, these places are being closely monitored.
COVID-19 vaccination status in the country stands at?
We had reached 1,376,986 persons or administered those doses, of which 977,889 had received the first dose, 399,097 had received the second dose. That is as far as immunization, COVID vaccination.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC.
And we do hope that that report clears the air in as far as the social media stories are concerned, that schools were supposed to begin in the next 2 weeks. The Minister of State for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, has commended the administration of Masaka Comprehensive School of Nursing for maintaining the standard operating procedures while ensuring proper learning of students. Dr. Kaduchu was evaluating education institutions in maintaining the standard operating procedures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The principal, Masaka School of Comprehensive Nursing, Sister Nausindo Kekulina, briefed the minister that all students at the institution have been vaccinated. The minister, who was accompanied by the Commissioner Health Education and Training, Dr. Safina Kisu Musene, urged all medical schools to follow the set standards to avoid possible closure.
With other TVET institutions.
So this one you can I think work on the if you can add
for nursing and midwifery. However, when we come to diploma, comprehensive nursing,
so basically we've come to ensure that you adhere the SOPs. Demonstrate to the country that this time round the medical schools will stay safe. There's going to be no COVID among the medical students. Demonstrate to the country that it is possible for the others to come and follow your example. That is what we've come to do. Thank you so much. I'm told you are doing the visions. Good.
So we do this 100 bits.
That is the news from that area there. And let's go to Chotera, where it's not good news really, because another person has survived Machete wielding attackers in Chotera district. A 60-year-old woman is nursing wounds at Kalisizo General Hospital. Ivan Kahwa visited Nyanzi and now reports.
A 61-year-old resident of Chango, Kazo, Chotera district survived being killed by machete-wielding attackers. She is currently receiving treatment at Kalisizo General Hospital. However, both hands were cut off.
They cut both my hands. The thumb of my left arm was chopped off. The right hand was completely cut and it has just been reattached.
Doctors at Kalisizo General Hospital are giving Maria Nyanzi medical attention after she was brutally attacked by machete-wielding attackers.
I don't have hands now. What will I be able to do? This worries me. True, I am still alive, but I am in much pain.
Nyanzi was attacked on 1st September 2021, a day after Charles Chivumbi, a resident of Bunyere district, was also attacked. The two incidents took place between 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m.
I was sweeping, but on feeling scared, I felt something hit in my head. So when I fell and turned to see who was hitting me, I pleaded for the man not to kill me. He cut me consecutively until he left me.
Nyanzi and her son, who rushed her to hospital, were able to see the attacker.
He was dressed formally, but he was running so fast. He was moving while his one side of the body is not swinging, meaning he might have been holding the machete on the standstill side.
He was wearing a black shirt. He was thin and short because I saw him charge at me.
Chiyonga Chrysostom, the husband to the victim, couldn't hold back his tears as he narrated what befell the wife.
I need to be helped if it is possible. My wife is now disabled, though she is alive.
He is worried about the costs of treatment.
I have tried to ensure that she is treated.
Luyombia Patrick Impaji, a doctor at Kalisizo General Hospital, confirms that the victim is stable.
Basing on the situation in which she was brought and currently the situation in which she is, we have high hopes that she will stabilize and she will be able to go back and do her work.
Chotera is one of the districts where anonymous letters have been dropped, and now the attacks are being conducted at the first hour of curfew. The incident happens at a time security chiefs had met in Greater Masaka to tackle the vice. Police and locals had agreed to work with village vigilantes to patrol their areas during night hours. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Greater Masaka.
Thanks for that report there. And earlier on, I had spoken with Assistant Superintendent of Police Mohammed Insuga, who is actually the regional spokesperson of Greater Masaka Police. I began by asking him what he knew about the attack on Miss Nyanzi.
I need to inform the general public and all the listenership that basically it is true that Nyanzi Maria, the female adult age 61 was attacked from her home as she was completing her choir cleaning up her backyard. That is the veranda. That was at exactly 2020 100 hours. That's 8 p.m. 8 past 10 p.m. Actually, one of the assailants who is yet to be identified attacked and hit or cut her multiple cuts on her both hands. And she sustained deep injuries on her two hands. And it was too early, so police was informed in time, and after having had a yelling or an alarm, so the resident or nearby resident made an alarm and a chase was started. Of course, we introduced our dog canine, which led us 3 kilometers away from the scene of crime to an abandoned house, but of course that house had occupant, but by the time of when our sniffer dog pursued the smell or the scent, that person could not be identified or could not be found. But we managed to search the house and we discovered the number of items. Among them was at least cannabis or things like maybe which resemble like opium. And highly suspect that this person who had been the occupant of the same had a criminal background according to the relative, and he was a drug abuser. So of course we intensified to look for the proper owner of the house, and the community was willing to reveal the person. But only all the victim now, Nyanzi Mariam Joseph, she has been a resident at a certain village called Chago village, that is in Nkeke parish. Nkeke parish, that is in Kalisa Town Council, or what they call Kalisa Town Council on Chotera district. Of course, we have mounted a search for this person who had been called or known as a Rasta, as sometimes they could call him Afande. Of course, that is his common name, who has been called for that, but he has never been a soldier or an operative. But just because of his conduct and his character, and we have published all our media in different fora and publishing his photo, who could be in any of the knowledge, would lead to his apprehension. So of course we have lead information that anytime will be in our hands. So I appeal to the general public only to remain calm. So the case of attempted murder was registered, and the victim in question is still undergoing treatment at Kaliso Hospital. That is in Chotera. Anytime we will follow and publishing his photo, who could be in any of the knowledge, would lead to his apprehension. So of course we have lead information that anytime will be in our hands. So I appeal to the general public only to remain calm. So the case of attempted murder was registered, and the victim in question is still undergoing treatment at Kaliso Hospital, that is in Chotera district. Apparently, only what I need to assure the general viewers and the public who are listening is basically we have intensified our publication of his image, the photo. So I'm going to confirm that so that I come factual over that. But we have circulated his photograph or his image or photo in different platforms to ensure whoever could have landed on him or whoever would be knowing him or his whereabouts or his hideout, because he has been hiding during daytime. But we have intensified the amount over the same. So I will need to particularly confirm that from the authority of the Jotera. Within a blink of an eye, I'll be in position to get back to you. But our interest is basically that a community where he has been staying, they know him physically, and they can easily identify him, because he has been a casual laborer within that locality. That is not very far from Kasari Town Council, where that incident happened from.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Mohamed Nsubga, who is the regional spokesperson of Greater Masaka Police, clarifying on what actually happened when Nyanzi was hurt, when her hands were cut. Let's move on now. The Local Government Public Accounts Committee has handed to police 7 officials from Gulu City to record statements over fraud. The 7 are accused of conspiring to defraud the COVID-19 National Task Force of money meant for beneficiaries of COVID-19 Relief Fund. Now, during an interface with the committee, it was also discovered that the Principal Community Development Officer, Richard Onyango, impersonated as a border rider to receive the money.
Yes, Oloya.
Yes.
This is the Prime Minister of Uganda.
Oh, you're welcome, Honorable Prime Minister.
Have you received the money?
I have received, madam.
Oh, congratulations.
In this phone call, Prime Minister Robin Anabanja confirmed the first recipient of the COVID-19 Relief Fund, dubbed Nabanja Cash.
How much have you received on your phone?
I have received a message that I have received 102,425 shillings, Uganda shillings.
The voice from the other side was supposedly from Godfrey Oloya, believed to be a border rider. Few months later, it has been discovered that Oloya, the border rider, is non-existent. Chaired by Martin Ojara Mapendozi, the Local Government Public Accounts Committee grilled 7 officials led by Gulu City Mayor Alfred Okwong and Town Clerk Moses Otimong.
I am the Principal Town Agent who coordinated data collection in 4 parishes. Number 1, Iriaga Parish. Number 2, Gonga Parish. Number 3, Tuanokon Parish. And then 4thly, Obialaro Parish.
So how can somebody else use your name number and your phone number?
I have someone in the names of Olanya Martin who is using that number.
Excuse me, Detective.
The committee discovered that the Gulu City Principal Community Development Officer, Richard Onyango, was the first recipient.
I admitted last time that it was only our division mayor who gave me a sheet.
A sheet containing how many lists? How many names of beneficiaries?
20-something.
20 people?
Yeah.
Who were they?
I thought the verification comes as the list comes from the LC1s. And at that point, you should be able to see. So when you say it is difficult to verify 11,000, 11,000 was not just for your division.
The treasurer of Badege Laibi division of Gulu, Alice Awol Lily, was registered as a street vendor. She benefited from the money meant for vulnerable persons, as attested to by 5 town agents who were in charge of compiling the lists.
When I spoke to her, she is actually a resident of Nigeria in Kampala. She has relatives in Gulu in Custom Corner, several kilometers away from this parish being talked about. She has never been to Pagealaro.
Even political leaders in the city, who were supposed to supervise the process in the same division, benefited.
I would not really expect a regional credit officer to be competing for this vulnerable money for people who were really in a very hard situation at that time.
We ask that you give us names of those officers You hesitated, you never provided. Is that clear?
By that time, I had no one, completely no one.
So now that you know, can you tell us those staff who were taking names, their own names and names of their relatives to be entered?
The committee was told that efforts to get details of a lawyer, the supposed first recipient, were unsuccessful.
How do you expect Ugandans to have confidence in the work you do?
Mr. Chairman, this is an exceptional situation which has really undermined the work that we dedicated our time and efforts to ensure that it was done clearly.
These were the findings that puzzled committee chairperson Martin Mapenduzi, and with no choice, he handed over for arrest the responsible officials.
And the police will also pursue all the councillors who got money.
The committee also ordered for the arrest of other officials who received the Nabanja cash.
Deal gone bad indeed, and it's very sad that the people who should actually be fighting for the vulnerable people are the ones who are benefiting instead. And still in news related to the Nabanja cash, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Amongi has carried out an assessment on the COVID relief fund that was given to the specific groups of vulnerable people. The findings indicate that 70% of the people that received the money could not disclose due to a number of reasons. The assessment was carried out in areas of Machete, Sabagabo Division and Entebbe Municipality, as we hear in this report.
To find out the efficiency of the COVID-19 Relief Fund that was launched on 8th July 2021, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Amongi is assessing its effectiveness in the divisions of Wakiso and Kampala.
Those who are being called and not accepting that they received the money is not because they did not receive. Others are not willing to disclose that they received because they have loans.
During the assessment, Minister found out that 70% registered beneficiaries do not want to disclose they received the money.
They are protecting privacy because some of the people received and did not disclose to their spouses. And therefore, if they accept on air that they received this money, then they will destabilize their family because they are not disclosed to their family members.
The Deputy RDC Wakiso Moses Jemba highlights the challenges they encountered during registration.
We have been having a very good challenge that people are not disclosing that they benefit from the COVID relief fund, the 100 that was sent individually to the vulnerable people.
The mayor, Machete Sabagabo, says the exercise could be effective if it involved local leaders.
In
Entebbe Municipality, leaders of people with disabilities say most of them did not get the COVID-19 relief fund.
However, some of our people did not benefit. Actually, out of the 210 we submitted at Entebbe Municipal Council, only 30 got.
In a scenario where a person received more than once and their SIM cards were blocked, the minister says they will unblock when the money is recovered.
I've reassured them that once the money is refunded, the excess money is refunded, their mobile money accounts are immediately open.
Jane Ramcha, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Police has withdrawn security guards from the contested land at LRV Folio 23, Plot 2, Semuliki Walk in Kampala, which is currently claimed by two parties. Now, this follows a demolition which was conducted by a yet unknown team at the property on Sunday, the 29th of August 2021, leaving property vandalized.
On Sunday, 29th August 2021, coordinated unknown teams attacked one property belonging to Bat Valley Bar and Restaurant Limited, located in Kampala, and vandalized the premises.
Under His Excellency the President's instructions, no businessman is supposed to be evicted. His business is not to be closed.
The property on LRV Folio 23 Plot 2, a leasehold, is owned by one Hema Padami since 1994.
This is despite the fact that we still have 4 years remaining on the lease. We had started some developments. There's a foundation on the land. We had even applied to Kampala District Land Board in 2020 for an extension of the lease to get finance from the bank.
4 days since the eviction and vandalism, police is still deployed at the property.
Okay, so, but on what basis are all of you police here?
To intimidate us.
Even if there's no court order?
There's nobody who is intimidating you.
Okay,
There's no policeman who is intimidating you.
But on what instruction are you here to do what? Keep whose peace? Who filed the complaint?
We are maintaining the status quo as it is.
The status quo is that we are here. But
we are
peace for
maintaining
whom?
peace. Okay?
Peace for whom? I'm peaceful. We are here, we are peaceful. We're not doing anything.
We are called that there were some clashes.
There's no clashes. You've
okay,
come,
it's okay. We've seen there are no
there's
clashes.
No clashes, so you
clashes.
can leave.
So all we need is that the state resources, the police leave our premises, status quo remains, we retain ownership of our property as we go to court and court decides who is the rightful owner of the property.
And the beauty is that police is for all of us. It's a national police force. So if it is the one taking care of the security of that property, of that area, then we are in safe hands. Or whoever is interested or has interest is in safe hands. Let's give it time and ascertain the interest therein or the ownership, and the rightful party shall have the day.
Although vandalism still remain one factor itching Hema and his tenants, double titling and leasing off the premises by KCCA before the expiry of the initial leasehold leaves unanswered questions.
Let us uphold the law. We are trying to go by the law. If this new title was lawful, would you not have given notice? Would you not have told the LCs? Would you not have written to us? Would you not have invited us? Would you come like thieves in the night and put signs and destroy property? Is that what a lawful person does?
Since these are all allegations at the moment, so let us establish the facts. Let's know whether it is within the realm of the District Land Board or within KCCA land management, and we shall ascertain the facts around it. Let's give it time and we shall come out and address the matter comprehensively and in its finality.
Hema and Tima chooses one Ivan Byaruhanga, acting on behalf of one Ephraim Muntaganda, to lipstick their property.
Well, from the people who destroyed our property, we are seeking compensation. That's all we need from them.
Our efforts to get a comment from Ephraim Muntaganda were futile, as no one was willing to share with us his known contacts. By close of business, police withdrew the private security company, Securex, which had been hired by the initial landlord to guard the premises. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Today in history.
On September 2nd, 1969, America's first automatic teller machine, ATM, came into use at Chemical Bank in Rockville Center, New York. Later in the 1980s, ATMs went on to revolutionize the banking industry, eliminating the need to visit a bank to conduct basic financial transactions. ATM machines became widely popular, and today they are absolutely necessary to most people as cell phones and email.
My home, I smile when I think of you, Uganda. My home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda. My home, oh my Uganda.
I know with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the moon at
MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Keep your eyes on the prize, eyes on the prize, eyes on the scheme. You gon' need eyes behind your back. Who you looking at? Who's looking at you? Blinded by love, maybe you need a better view. All eyes on you, all eyes on you. Biggie's eyes on you, Biggie's eyes on you. World's eyes on you, world's eyes on you. So what you gon' do? So what you gon' do?
Readjust your vision for the all-new season of Big Brother Naija. Now streaming 24/7 on Showmax. Rated 18. Sign up at showmax.com.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. The Acting Commissioner, Community Policing, Anatoli Muletera, has urged members of the public to embrace neighborhood watch system. Muletera's comment comes at a time when panga-wielding gangs have intensified killings in Greater Masaka.
Neighborhood watch teams was the hot start.
In August 2018, Uganda Police and the Youth Integrated Development Organization created awareness among local chairpersons, community police post OCs, and community liaisons officer on the neighborhood watch system. In Masaka and Lakai, the training targeted door-to-door visits, night patrols, community meetings, and neighborhood watch teams.
There has not been unity within people themselves. For example, villages no longer have village registers or visitors books. But if you enter a village, you are free to enter and move out. You are free to move with someone's child and move out. You are free to come and sit in a hotel or at any place and prepare.
The Acting Commissioner Community Policing, Anatoli Muleterwa, reviewed the progress and challenges ahead in implementing of community policing.
Something is not repeatedly done. There are scenarios of forgetting. Yes, Mayumba Kumi system is their oral model as an approach in community policing to emphasize on strong neighborhood watch. But, you know, in Uganda currently, the neighborhood is very fluid. Today you find somebody is in your neighbor, another day he has moved on. That is one. Two, people's attitude has also changed. But three, and most fundamental, is that while we need to build a strong neighborhood watch, we need first of all to bring the LOCs on board, because you know, some of them were elected as leaders and have never been trained.
Muletera noted that police is working hard to improve its technical capacity to enhance crime prevention in Greater Masaka districts.
Please, every LOC chairperson, vice chairperson, Nabachala, youth, name them, work with us. You are our first line of security. You are the fountain of foundation security. You need to work together with us to ensure that we bridge the gap and sustain this kind of safety that we require.
Youth Integrated Development Organization Project Manager Naimara Ronadi outlined the essence of community policing and public trust concept.
Have the clustering of these villages, creating the Mayumba Kumi clusters, and the leaders within those very clusters, people monitoring each other and supporting each other for a good cause of preventing crime, and also looking at how they develop together as a society, is going to mend the gap that has been there, and is going to actually make sure that these killings are prevented. And if you step in a community and you are not known, then they should be able to detect you.
Modern policing requires the adoption of community policing as a strategy at the village level. Haruna Mutesasira, UBC.
Thanks, Haruna, for that report there. A Police Crime Intelligence Directorate has established a temporary victim shelter facility and an interview room to pending cases. This is to ensure the lives of women, children, and the evidence on gender-based violence is protected.
The established accommodation facility has the capacity of 300 people with a situation room for interrogation. Vulnerable classes of people to be accommodated include women and children being victimized sexually and other gender-based related violence cases.
Facility, we quickly get the necessary evidence, whether forensic evidence, whether statements of victims and witnesses, to help us prosecute as fast as possible the offenders, the perpetrators of such crimes.
The Directorate has partnered with the International Justice Mission Uganda to establish the facility.
That building is there so that justice can be served, so that the survivors of crimes of violence will feel safe and secure, so that the police investigating such cases will have the security, the facility, the comfort that they need in order to collect the evidence.
However, the facility still encounters challenges.
The partnership should help us also to move from where we are. The facility we have now is too small compared to the number of victims we receive. So the partnership should help us, and we get a better and a wider space. We construct so that really we can comfortably handle this.
At least 12,000 cases of defilement are reported annually, and of this, only 10% investigated conclusively, as victims are stigmatized.
Track of those cases reaching justice, reaching the court, is very important. And therefore, we hope that this room can help children to be able to give their testimony.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Government has pledged to fund Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital to offer better reproductive and neonatal health services at no cost to mothers. Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Hanifa Kaoya, inaugurated Mulago Neonatal Hospital new board headed by Dr. Romano Biarhanga.
Directors for Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital has been inaugurated. Dr. Romano Biaruhanga will chair the new 12-member board. The new team took oaths of allegiance before the High Court Registrar, Jamson Kalimani.
I, Dr. Romano Biaruhanga,
swear that I will, at all times,
State Minister for Health in charge of general duties, Hanifa Kaoya, addressed the inaugurated board and pledged government support. Kaoya, however, refuted allegations that the hospital has been charging patients astronomical fees.
Together with my ministry and the senior minister and other colleagues, we have to look to ensure funding of the health sector is still unfunded. And there are so many programs, because this sector deals with saving lives. And once you want to save lives, you have to invest in that. You would want to do everything, but you find that your hands are tied financially. So I do pledge that we shall give support to this facility and to ensure that the board mandate is executed to our expectation and the public expectation. The state of vaccination in the country, I am pleased to say that at least as a country, our target was to ensure that we go for mass vaccination. And as I speak now, we are on course. Of course, we are still vaccinating those who had the first jab. The first jab meaning those ones who were going into the second jab. So we have got, at least we're expecting more, around 22 million or 27 million doses, meaning that we shall have our percentage, and the mass population that we targeted for will have been targeted.
The board chairman, Dr. Romano Biaruhanga, promised that the team will serve diligently.
The rate of decrease of newborn death
has been slower than the deaths of children between 1 month to 59 months. 46% of newborn deaths, the first 28 days of life, contributes the biggest burden. And hence there's need to address how to address this particular aspect, this burden.
Mulago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital was constructed in 2018 to address challenges facing mothers. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
To Karamoja sub-region now, where Karamoja sub-region is to benefit from an EU-funded project that seeks to shield the community from food shocks. Launched in Nakapelimoro sub-county in Kotido district, the Strengthening Shock Responsive Systems project enables households to act in anticipation of food shocks and benefit from early response to food crisis. In another development, the EU heads of mission are concerned about the underutilization of a valley dam in Kabong district.
Resilience Action Pro-Act Uganda is a European Union-funded project working towards strengthening shock-responsive systems in Karamoja.
Not respond to shocks late in a traditional humanitarian relief way that we do year after year after year, but actually take early action based on the information received through the early warning systems that are being strengthened and established.
Of course, we know, especially Kotido district where we are right now, people are prone to a lot of famine, hunger, malnutrition issues, and this project is very, very important to me. I happen to be a Karamojo and I know what it means growing up in this kind of environment.
The €4 million scheme is implemented by World Food Programme, Food and Agriculture Organization and the Office of the Prime Minister.
We have discussed the challenges faced at national and local levels to reduce, anticipate and rapidly respond to shocks, and are committed to find ways of supporting the government of Uganda in this direction. And I know again I speak on behalf of all European Union member states.
Locals and national stakeholders to share timely and accurate information that the community and stakeholders can utilize and manage food shocks.
So really meteorological information and different types and layers of information, including satellite information and imagery and the rain index, and all of this comes together, together with eyes on the ground from the 9 districts. The information gets sorted, collated, analyzed, and we prepare monthly bulletins.
By so doing, the community will be able to act off food shocks and benefit from early response to food crisis that has grappled the region from time immemorial. In another development, the EU ambassadors are concerned about the redundancy of one of the valley dams constructed in Kabong district. According to locals, they are no longer utilizing the facility because all their cattle have been stolen.
We had a lot of cows. Actually, we had about 2 years.
They add that elephants roaming from Kidepo Valley National Park are now the major beneficiaries of the project and call for project diversification to irrigation.
If the partners, the donors, could help us to find a way of using this facility, like for irrigation purposes, because the only animals using now this dam is the elephants.
Can this sustain animals? Can this sustain the irrigation system for that dry period at the peak of water demand? We are, as per now, actually making some studies about that small-scale irrigation system.
This dam is part of a bigger European Union-funded valley dam project in the Karamoja sub-region, which cost €11 million, which is approximately 46 billion Ugandan shillings. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Still in Karamoja sub-region, residents of Moroto municipality are happy with the system used to receive COVID relief money. During a meeting held to follow up how many people benefited from the relief cash in Moroto municipality, a State Minister for Disaster, Esther Nyakun, promised that the money will come provided they correct their details. Only 31 out of 1,426 people did not receive the cash due to the unmatching details.
This house's veranda in Balasa village, Moroto municipality at night, is a home to Maria Limulimu, a widow and a mother of 3 orphans.
Where she stays. These are beddings. For her, she has no accommodation.
Limulimu remained homeless after her husband passed on years back, and she lost most of the family assets to the husband's family.
Our home area is in Lotome. That's why she had a vision of saying almost in Lotome, in Napak district. So if she gets the iron sheets, she will go and build and settle at home.
When government released COVID relief funds, Limulimu was among the beneficiaries in Moroto municipality.
Without that in her life saving, the first thing she had was to buy the iron sheet.
Other beneficiaries include boda riders, car washers, saloon operators, among others.
I went for hospital and bill. I had to remain in 50,000. I paid 1 month for my rent where I stay.
I'm pushing. That was stopped. Then the front tire of my motorcycle was rolled off. So I had to take the 45,000 for putting the tire. And that tire is the very one I'm still using and still in good condition. So I thank God for that, and I thank the minister for help.
State Minister for Disaster, Esther Anyakun, was impressed with how the beneficiaries utilized the money and promised those who missed out that they will receive their money.
Then use their money in a rightful manner, because it's changed. I have a lady here who decided to buy iron sheets for her house because she has never received that amount of money in her lifetime, and she thought it was the biggest money. Since it was the biggest amount of money she has ever received, she decided to buy an asset for herself, and that is a very touching story. That means that the impact of that money, or the money that was sent by the Ministry of Gender, did a lot of changes in people's lives, especially in Karamoja.
Moriniga.
People from Moroto municipality happy with the 100,000 that government gave to them. To Soroti now, where the Director Mobilization at the NRM Secretariat, Rosemary Nasubuga Senende, has urged youth to avoid bad elements as a way of fostering development. Addressing Youth Council in Soroti, Senende advised youth to embrace government programs that target poverty eradication. We have this report.
Benefit communities like Emioga, Parish Development Model, OWC, NADS, mostly targeting youth. The Director, Mobilization NRM Secretariat, Rosemary Nasubuga Seninde, urges youth to target government programs. She cautioned them against involving in lawlessness. Seninde was addressing the National Youth Council 2021 for the youth from Lango, Karamoja and Teso sub-regions at Soroti Secondary School.
But I think now time has come for us, the leaders, to help our youth appreciate that if they don't help themselves also, it will be very difficult to benefit from the government program. And when I talk about helping themselves, it's about getting involved in all these programs and own them, love them, and appreciate them. And also have a vision to ensuring that these programs are going to benefit them. So if we don't do that, we are going to keep lamenting, whether we come with the parish models or whether we come with the Mionga, whatever we shall come with, you will still remain behind. And that is,
she said, the youth challenges
about the parish development model
the NRM party with 90% of the youth leadership across the country.
We have so many models that we are going to use in mobilizing our youth, teaching them ideology, the NRM ideology, because it is the ruling party. Whether we want or not, it is the party in power. So we need to help our people appreciate and also understand, so that we can move together. You are the people who are going to lead this country tomorrow, when we are no more. But if you are not prepared, if you are not ready to do that, then the country is going to be doomed.
The Youth Member of Parliament, Eastern Region, Bernard Odoi Onene, encouraged the youth to engage in commercial farming to better their livelihood.
As young people who have been tilting the wetlands to plant rice, what are we looking up to? We should look for options that will address that gap. Most of us have been relying on planting maybe rice. We should now address issues like fish farming. Several of you have been privileged to go to the present farming where we got some skills. And the issue of wetlands, we must find an option. And for me, I would suggest it should be fish farming.
Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
We'll now be going for a short break, but we'll return with what's happening in business.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
Five times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5. 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Center mobile app. Click Center on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more. So, participate in the 5 for 5 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank. Centenary Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 offer on weekly or monthly bundles. Valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Brought to you by
Transact 5 times or more using Center Mobile, Center Visa, and Center Agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 5 for 5 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at business news. And State Minister for Trade, Harriet Ntabazi, has paid a courtesy visit to Graphics System Uganda, which has invested over $30 million in printing solutions for industrial packaging. She commended the management of Graphics System Uganda for creating employment and empowering Ugandans through skilling.
Graphics System Uganda is among the leading companies in printing solutions for industrial packaging, labeling, and commercial applications. State Minister for Trade, Harriet Ntabazi, says government is to utilize such companies to train youth in entrepreneurship programs.
If we could improve on the quality of the products we are making, the finishing, you look at the finishing, look at the embroidery, you look at the fitting, you measure somebody and you do something fitting. Uganda, because the president himself puts on Uganda made. Yes. Puts on Uganda made. But because now they have mastered the president's size, yes, you should not master only one person's size. You should master everybody's size.
She says government is to reduce on the taxes levied on such companies to build capacity for them to produce high-quality products.
You look at the quality because of the competitiveness. You also look at the styling because of also the market. Look at what puts you higher than others. Something must be out of graphics. And some of these ones I've seen, and I know we shall continue with this, and with more knowledge, with more support from the ministry, we shall do better.
The minister was astonished by the printing requirements and wide print technologies. The project manager graphics system, Tosha Upadai, says over 500 youth have been trained in printing, with a big number of their students being self-employed.
We train our people here, in reality. So the person who comes to graphic system, it's one of the biggest training school. If you go today to Nasser Road for printing, there would be more than 60% printing machine operator are being trained here, and they have now got a job in Nasser Road or somewhere else. But we believe that the more we train, the more competitiveness and the quality you bring it up.
Sudat Kaye, UBC.
Information Technology Authority of Uganda, NITA-U, is set to establish a data protection portal in accordance with the implementation of the Data Protection Act of 2019. NITA-U has partnered with the United Nations Capital Development Fund to spur confidence and trust in the digital economy, as we hear in this report.
The objective of establishing data protection portal is to attract more companies to subscribe on the National Central Data System. The Data Protection Act was adopted in 2019. However, the registration of companies at low pace as potential subscribers are skeptical of data privacy and integrity.
This office has also been set up to handle complaints from the citizens and the residents. So if you find that your personal data, for instance, is in someone's hands and you've never given them that data, the law allows you to ask that person how they receive the data and what data they have about you.
With the implementation of the Act, all companies in possession of people's personal information are required to subscribe to the National Central Data System.
If they fail to do that, the office has a right to prosecute these organizations, and the highest penalty under the law is a 2% penalty on the gross annual income of the organization.
To check and see, are they using my data in the right way? Are they complying? Is my data being used for something malicious, or is it safe? So the alignment is helpful, and it's already in place.
NITA Uganda has partnered with the United Nations Capital Development Fund to foster inclusive digital economies in Uganda.
Office in place, the Personal Data Privacy Protection Office. So that allows us the opportunity to have a focal point to partner with, somebody to work with to support the implementation of this law and the promotion of data privacy and protection, to give Ugandans the confidence to participate in this digital economy.
To achieve the national development goals in this fourth industrial revolution, government must invest as stakeholders respect data privacy of digital platform subscribers. Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC News.
Of Water and Environment has launched the sustainability report of the East African Breweries Limited and called upon industrialists to prioritize periodic environment assessment to enable sustainability of natural conservation. The Director of Water Resources Management, Dr. Florence Adong, called for collective responsibility while achieving the country's development goals without affecting nature.
The sustainability projects in the report by the East African Breweries Limited intend to encounter dreadful climate change through community-based solutions.
What you can do, just be like the hummingbird. When there is a fire, that bird goes to the water lake and tries to put water. So it's our beer we are having. What can we do? The little that we can afford to do, both as an organizational perspective and as an employee and as a community. Because the climate change, sustainability I think we can no longer be blind to it. It is a very, very big challenge.
East African region is experiencing the adverse conditions associated with the global climate change due to the uncoordinated industrial development agenda.
Today's society, sustainable development focuses a lot on economic activities that do not harm the environment. And that is the outcry of SDG 6, which looks at basically clean water and sanitation.
The launch sustainability report will unpack avenues of conserving the environment. The director in charge of water and resources management from the Ministry of Water and Environment, Dr. Florence Adong, urged Ugandan developers to periodically carry out environment assessment.
The current nationwide initiative are meant to mobilize all Ugandans to take and sustain concrete action to restore the environment, focusing on forests, wetlands, lake shores and riverbanks, hilly slopes, mountains, sanitation, wild plants and wild animals.
Despite the importance of industrialization, there are drawbacks like population and soil contamination that has led to the worsened quality of life. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Was brought to you by the 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank, our bank.
We've almost come to the end of this final bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a look at our top stories. Stories tonight: COVID-19 infections and admitted patients for infected persons increases. Machete wielding attackers hack 60-year-old woman in Chotera district, hands chopped off. Chinese foreign minister calls for cooperation via video link with US climate envoy. And in sports, Kenya holds Uganda to a goalless draw in the World Cup qualifiers. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But let's leave you with the weather forecast for tomorrow with Kutesa Mili.
Thanks for tuning on UBC. I'm by name Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We woke up to a cloudy and rain conditions most parts of the lake shores and across some parts of Kabale Highlands. But the rest of the country had sunny intervals. Though in the evening hours, we see a pickup of thunder showers almost in every part of our country. And by morning, we had the highest of 60 millimeters across Kabale, and Kitugum with 12.2 millimeters of rainfall, Gulu with 7, Lila with 1.5, Masin with the lowest of 0.4 millimeters of rainfall. This is influenced by the ridging that is over the tip of South Africa that is pushing in the moist winds towards our country, enhanced with the easterlies, and the local effects bring us the rain that we are having lately. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with light showers most parts of the country, but northern part of our country, some parts are going to be with thunder showers. Kotido, Moroto, Mbarara, and Kabala expect to have sunny intervals, but afternoon hours we expect a pickup of thunder showers almost in every part of our country. Temperatures expect to raise up to 28 degrees Celsius of maximum in northern part of our country and parts of the Karamoja regions, 27 across lake shores, but in our capital city Kampala with 26, Kabale Highlands with the lowest of 23 degrees Celsius. US moving out of our country touring other cities across the globe. We are forecasting sunny conditions across Dubai with a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius. Beijing, New York and London are expected to have sunny intervals with a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius across Beijing, but our capital Nairobi is going to have cloudy conditions with a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.